All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Councillor Rhonda Copeland and Councillor George Heidi and Councillor Doug Trope will be via video. The rest of the council is here present. This evening, the overview of how this meeting will run, we'll have a proposal and the opening remarks by myself. We'll have the 2020 financial plan presented by our CAO. We'll have questions and comments by registered in favor and questions and comments by registered opposed, then in questions from council, and final opportunity for new comments, and then the meeting would be adjourned. So I would like to start by taking this opportunity to thank all of the residents of Boissevain-Morton for their vigilance and their care that everyone has put into keeping us all safe. It has been a difficult year for everyone. We have all been affected by COVID-19. So on behalf of the council and the staff, I want to thank each of you for helping to keep us safe. As a council, we have struggled with the financial plan. The provincial government has extended the deadline for the municipalities to give us extra time to review this budget, which really helped. We started this budget at a 3.25% increase with an assessment year. This is the assessment year. But we understand the financial pressures that everyone is under. So we went back and we reviewed the numbers to try to find potential savings. We are the only form of government that cannot run a deficit. We had to try to ensure we have funding available if we are able to open the pool, for instance, this summer, or will that rink open in the fall, and what projects can we put on hold, etc. These are just a few of the considerations that we looked at, the best and the worst scenarios. This financial plan is at 1.51% increase. We also needed to address the COVID-19 and what we can as a municipality do to assist any businesses or individuals in need for this year. We have devised an application form for those in need, and they can apply to have their taxes deferred to December 31st without penalty, or work with us to determine payment plans. This application will be available at the tax time, online, or at the office. I wanted to take time to thank the council and the staff for their hard work for this financial plan and in setting up this virtual meeting. If anyone has questions after viewing this presentation, please call or email either the office or myself or any of the councillors. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to say if you have something that you're not sure of, make sure that you contact any of us. So thank you, and now I'm going to turn it over to our CAO, Leo Poulin, who will present the financial plan for 2020.
Thank you, Judy. And first off, I want to say thank you to all of you as we persevere the COVID-19 pandemic and navigate through these unusual and uncertain times. Before we get going into the specifics of the proposed 2020 financial plan, I want to share with you some very significant information. First is the COVID-19 impact on our municipality. We certainly all have been impacted from this pandemic. As most of you have already noticed, our municipality has taken a strong stance in keeping our community safe and for the well-being of our community. We have all dedicated significant time constantly reviewing and researching all information available as it comes in and changes each and every day. Our municipality has had to make extremely difficult decisions on our facilities, our staff, and decisions that affect our local businesses as the municipality stimulates our local economy. We have and we continue to look into different options to assist our ratepayers during this pandemic. So we are pleased to share with you two very important items. First and most importantly, before COVID-19 began to really affect all of Canada, the municipality was looking at a 3.25% municipal increase. After many special meetings and looking at different ways to assist our ratepayers during the pandemic, the municipality felt it was in everyone's best interest to review all budget areas again and make some difficult and challenging ways to reduce the tax impact. So we're excited to share with you that we have reduced the municipal budget from 3.25% down to 1.51% for 2020. The second item the municipality is announcing is that we are offering a 2020 property tax deferral program. This program is by application only and will require specific items to be eligible, as the municipality is trying to assist those in need. The application deadline is August 30th, and approvals will be announced in mid-September. At this time, we are very proud to announce that, and we are the only rural municipality in our region offering this type of program. More details of the program will be shared with you in the very near future. One of the tools the municipality has utilized to assist us in offering this deferral program was through the surveys that we have available. And did you know the municipality has developed 3 COVID impact surveys for businesses, agricultural, and residential properties? Please visit our website for more information and to fill them out. We are certainly encouraging everyone to continue to fill them out, as this tool gives us the ability to better understand the needs, the wants and needs of all our ratepayers. Some other very important items the municipality is working on is our strategic plan. We're working on our government, which includes updating and implementing new policies, bylaws, and general administrative practices. During the transition in 2017, the municipality has taken a strong stance towards significantly improving our overall financial health and services. Knowing very well that significant capital dollars would be needed in the very near future, the municipality has made significant progress towards reducing the dependency of using line of credit to simply operate, reducing a significant amount of debt, and reducing a significant amount of outstanding liabilities. All this while beginning the transition towards funding reserves and improving services for a much healthier, sustainable future for our municipality. We have also begun developing maintenance programs and capital asset replacement plans. With the assisted living facility, we are providing a significant amount of administrative assistance, as we are very excited about the prosperity of this facility and the economic impact and growth for our community for the next many, many years to come. This project is very important as we continue to move forward and develop this great community. We will also be continuing to work on plans for the new lagoon. We most recently held public hearing for the general boring, which received positive feedback from the public, and now the next steps will be determining location and additional planning. And finally, for this year, it is a reassessment year, and we'll get to that a bit later on. So our total municipal budget for 2020 is 4.99 million, and overall is 7.65 million, which the difference between the two is school taxes. Our budget looks like it has had a significant jump from 2019, and it did. But did you know the municipality has received over $250,000 in new grants? This is great news as we continue to grow our thriving community. So as part of a budget consists of revenue and expenditures. And the first part I'll be going through is our revenue. To give you a visual point of view, the municipal taxes is 49.99% at roughly 3.8 million. School taxes 34.68% at 2.6 million, and other revenue at 15.3% at 1.17 million. When you compare some of our trends over the past few years, our municipal revenue are up a little over 60,000, school up roughly 5,000, and other revenue seeing a significant increase from 738,000 last year in 2019 to 1.17 million this year, an increase of over 435,000. The municipality is receiving $202,000 from the Department of Municipal Relations in relation to municipal operating grant. We will also be receiving an urban policing grant in the amount of $186,000, federal gas tax at $126,000, handy van grant at $30,000, career start $5,000, Dutch Elm $4,000, and other new items for this year include interest income. Also new this year, and did you know that the municipality was approved, in 2019, the municipality approved a conditional use order application from High Life for a hog nursery operation. Some conditions include a road repair agreement and an annual $25,000 development fee. Additionally, we're extremely excited to share with you a few new grants we were successful in obtaining. First, we received a grant from Manitoba Water Services for $200,000. Second, we received a grant from Building Sustainable Communities for a recreation master plan in the amount of $20,500. And finally, we received a grant through the Flood Preparedness Program for $113,000. This grant includes a culvert de-icery, EMO command center, and you see on the picture on the right, a new mobile generator. The other half of our budget is expenditures. Of our total 7.6 million budget, 58.17% which is 4.45 million, is in the form of municipal taxes. School taxes is 2.65 million, and our general reserve is at 410,000. Gas tax reserve, 126,000, and allowance for tax assets is at $10,000, which is 0.14% of our budget. School taxes, which is 35% of our budget, is simply an in and an out. We collect the 2.65 million from our ratepayers, then we pay the school divisions this exact amount. Turtle Mountain School Division will receive 2.29 million from us. Southwest Horizon Division 87,000, and then we additionally will pay the province 274,000 towards an education support levy. This levy is collected from commercial properties to raise part of the annual revenues for the Public Schools Finance Board. Before you see our expenditures by area. As you see, our transportation budget continues to see record high levels of our overall budget coming in at over 1.4 million. Next is our fiscal services at 1.07 million. General government services next at 570,000. Followed by recreation and cultural services at 533,000. Protective services is at 416,000. Economic development services at 188,000. Environmental health services at 142,000. Environmental development services at 51,000. And public health and welfare services at 16,000. Going into each area a bit further, starting with the general government services. Our general government services, which is 13% of our budget, which includes legislative, staff, office, legal, audit, grants, liability insurance, assessment and taxation. You see on the right the trend over the past few years, and it has significantly come down, which is primarily staff salary and the reduction in council size. Changes in 2020 are the office staff are back to full strength after dealing with multiple maternity leaves. We continue to make significant strides towards updating and creating a proper record system for maintaining our records. And new this year is consulting services. And also, did you know the municipal audit fees have decreased 26% over the past 5 years for the municipality? This is very important as we continue to improve our internal controls and processes and are constantly aiming for best value for dollar. Protective services, roughly 11% of our budget, up a little over $2,500 over the last year. This area includes police, fire services, EMO, building inspection, and animal control. Changes in 2020, we are in year 2 of our protection special service bylaw, and due to COVID, this pandemic had us review and update our pandemic plan. Typically, EMO plans include evacuating, and so this is a much different than a typical EMO scenario. And did you know you can stay connected with the latest news and events and emergency alerts with Connect Boissevain via text, phone, and email? Please visit our website for more information. Transportation services, which is our largest budget, is at 33%. It is up over 100,000 from last year. This service includes staff, equipment, fuel, repairs and maintenance, road construction, gravel, streets, road patching, street lighting, to name a few. Changes in 2020, the municipality is maintaining a record high gravel budget and have added a contract employee and a 3rd grader. Did you know that in 2020, the municipality has a dedicated rural maintenance crew and a construction crew and are able to build rural roads at only 1/3 of the cost of contracting. Environmental health services is 3% of our total budget. Looks like we significantly increased the budget as it is up over 100,000 from last year. But this is not the case. Upon review of our financial presentation, it was determined that items were classed in incorrect areas in the past, and so we adjusted them to proper areas in 2020. In this area, we transferred municipal wells from economic development services to environmental health services. This area also includes garbage collection, the nuisance grounds, and changes in 2020, security upgrades at the landfill site, and due to the success of our Hazardous Waste Day held in 2020, the municipality has decided to make the landfill site a year-round collection site for hazardous waste. And did you know that residential garbage will be picked up at the front curb year-round? To ensure efficient service, please have your household garbage set out at the curb by 8 a.m. on Thursdays. Public health and welfare services, 0.4% of our total. It is the exact same as last year, and it includes cemetery and social assistance. Changes in 2020 is ongoing cemetery upgrades. And did you know the municipality cemetery will be adding a new columbarium in 2020? For more information, contact the municipal office. Environmental development services is at 1.2% of our total, down over 7,000 from last year. This area includes the trailer court, general land assembly, and Dutch elm and tree maintenance. Changes in 2020 are, we are continuing the Dutch elm tree management program and tree pruning program. Also, did you know that you are required to obtain approval to trim or cut down a tree or on municipal land or municipal boulevards. And a written request must be submitted to council for approval. Again, for more details, please contact the municipal office or visit our website. Economic Development Service is 4.2% of our budget. It is down close to $30,000. Previously, I'd mentioned the municipal wells was transferred to Environmental Health Services, while additionally museums was previously included in Economic Development Services, but this year we transferred all museums into Recreation and Cultural Services. Economic Development Services includes the Turtle Mountain Community Development Corporation, Board, staff, marketing and branding, town beautification, town sign and billboard, vet services, rural weed control, water resources, and conservation. Changes in 2020, significant signage branding through incorporating our amalgamated brand logo, website upgrades, and an increased allocation to rural weed program. And also, we are leaders in our social media presence. Even before this pandemic emerged, our municipality has identified the importance of sharing as much information as we can with its ratepayers. And it certainly helps to have a staff member that specializes in design. This is certainly a growing trend. I am proud that we are leading the way as many municipalities are copying our ideas. Also, did you know that the municipality has a 3-year building incentive program for residential and commercial properties? One of the many reasons to build in Boissevain. Please visit our website or contact the municipal office for more information. For recreation and cultural services, we have a disclaimer regarding COVID-19. When council was budgeting, it was determined that most recreation services, it was too hard to determine if programs would be proceeding or not, or with conditions. And so it was determined that the safest practice to budget as if everything would be open, because if we did not allocate money towards programs and they did end up opening up, we would be certainly running a significant deficit, which is not good. And so we wanted to put a disclaimer out to let everyone know how we are proceeding with recreation. Overall, recreation and cultural services is 17.3% of our budget. This area is up roughly 80,000. Half of this is the transfer of the museums from Economic Development Services, and the remaining half is the addition of cultural arts and the Recreation Master Plan project expenditures. Recreation and cultural services also includes the Rec Commission, Civic Center, Parks and Playgrounds, Arena Pool, Library, and the Legion Hall. Changes in 2020 are some Legion Hall upgrades, retirement of staff, and the departure of our long-serving tenant, CJRP. They are relocating to the Red Coat Square later this fall. We are sad that they will be moving, but are happy that they have decided to stay in the community. Also, did you know, the municipality is currently working on a redevelopment plan for the recreation grounds to allow for future growth. Such an important project as we continue to move forward. Fiscal services includes capital expenditures, debenture debt charges, and our reserves. It is 24.2% of our budget and is up over 400,000. Main reason for this, in 2020, we received over $250,000 in new grants, which will be spent towards much needed upgrades. And did you know the municipality has received a $200,000 grant for water plant upgrades and new water meters? This is very much appreciated from Manitoba Water Services, as our water plant is 20 years old and we have not completed the water meter changeover that started in 2013-2014. Our proposed capital items for 2020 include street paving, a new skid steer for the landfill, a cell expansion at the landfill as we are nearing capacity at the existing cell. We have building upgrades, park upgrades, machinery upgrades, and pool sandblasting. For utility, and thanks again to our cost sharing grant, we were able to complete $400,000 towards water plant upgrades and purchase the total remaining water meters. Through the flood preparedness grant, we are purchasing a new mobile generator, and we have significant lagoon planning and other capital expenditures. Well, good news, no new debentures in 2020, and it is the last payment of the water treatment plant debenture of $126,000. Next after that, in 2022, our greater debenture will be off the books. Currently we're paying $75,000. Then we will have the urban landfill and rural landfill debenture, both maturing in 2031. Urban $37,000, rural $22,000. Next maturity is the residential development phase 2, maturing in 2032. Annual payment is $58,000. And then maturing in 2036, we have the recycling center debenture, annual payment $36,000. And then the residential development with an annual development payment of $43,000. Please note that between the first two debentures, the water plant and greater, both equate to $200,000 of our annual total of $400,000. Having these two debentures off the books comes in at an ideal time as it gives us flexibility. Part of our long-term financial planning is preparing for the lagoon debenture and other capital. And at this point in time, we plan to ease the impact of adding the lagoon on ratepayers as little as possible. When we look at our debenture debt, at the start of the 2020 year, we have $2.45 million. $2.3 million in our general operating and $117,000 in utility. As mentioned in the last slide, at this point we do not anticipate any new debentures in 2020, and so our general operating balance will be down to $2.1 million at December 31st year end 2020, and our utility will be paid off in full. And our total year-end balance at 2020 will be $2.15 million, down roughly $300,000 from 2019. Additionally, in 2019, we dealt with the closure of the former waste disposal grounds and the Boissevain-Morton Foundation loan. In 2012, the municipality abandoned the former waste disposal grounds to build in a new location, but did not properly close the former waste disposal grounds as per the requirement from the Department of Sustainable Development. In 2018, municipal staff prepared a plan to close the former waste disposal grounds. We did as much as we possibly could in-house, and this in turn saved the municipality significant dollars, as many closure plans cost well over $500,000. The plan was approved by the province in late 2018, the work completed in the summer of 2019, and now we are waiting for the approval of our closure report. Another important liability dealt with in 2019 was the 2009 Boissevain-Morton Foundation loan. This loan has been added to the municipal books in 2009 with no repayment terms or plan. In 2019, the municipality decided to pay off this loan in full in an effort to strengthen our financial position as another item as part of our financial plan. Dealing with these two items, additionally, $425,000 of liabilities came off the books in 2019, which is significant progress for the municipality. For our special services, as previously stated, we are in year 2 of our Urban Protection Services bylaw. and this is a slight increase to $405,000 in 2020. We also have the urban waste special service, which is at $66,000, all by per parcel. New in 2020 is the change from the former conservation districts to watersheds. This year, the total dollar figure is down roughly $6,000. We are paying levies for the Souris River Watershed District at $15,000 and the Pembina Valley Watershed District at $7,000. For more information, please contact our council reps, Councillors Rob Adams or George Heidi. For our reserves, we have our general reserve and gas tax reserve. The gas tax reserves allocation amount from the feds in 2020 is $126,630. And for the general reserve, we have allocated $410,000 in 2020. Here, the purpose is for contingency, financial, and capital planning. Here, you see our reserve bank balances as of December 31st in each of the past 5 years. In 2015, we had $9,400, and you see a slightest growth in 2016 and 17. In 2018, we rectified our gas tax reserve concern with program administration by funding the reserve at year end. And in 2019, the municipality began the process of funding our general reserve. Our reserve fund total in 2018 seen a jump from $10,000 to $140,000, and then another significant increase in 2019 to $466,000 cash in the bank. Before we get into our tax impact for 2020, I want to identify a few other important items within our utility budget and the health of our utility. In 2019, we've seen the first utility rate increase since 2010. Some important items to point out in our 2020 utility budget, and I know it's difficult to see. First, we currently have 2 rate riders. One as part of the approved rate study in 2018. This rate rider is for 5 years and is for the utility operating deficits incurred in 2014, 15, and 16. The second rate rider, approved in 2019 by the PUB Board Order 76-19, is to recover the utility operating deficit incurred in 2017 and is applicable for 2 years. In 2019, we received roughly $87,000 in rate rider revenue, and we are anticipating roughly $100,000 in 2020. And then we will see a slight reduction in 2021 as the second rate rider will be coming off near the end of the year. A couple other items to note on the utility budget is the final payment of the water treatment plant debenture. Debt charges at $126,000. We have $69,500 allocated towards capital and maintenance upgrades. And also we are recovering $182,000 in utility operating deficit from prior years. As part of our utility rate study, we are in year 2 of 3 for increases. This year is up 15.7% over last year, and this was applicable for the commencement of February 1st, 2020, which was your May billing that you recently received. As part of our new sustainable model, you see in the 2018 quarterly minimum was $53.91. It jumped in 2019 to $69.72. It is now at $80.67, and next year it will be an increase to $91.84. I have heard from many different comments from ratepayers concerning our utility rate increase, but I think it is important to note that we went through the rate study, and at that time, we were still in the middle of the pack in regards to rate comparisons. Additionally, since our study was done in 2018, some examples of other municipalities with approved rates are the RM of Montcalm at 89.92, the town of Snow Lake 102.76, Gilbert Plains 105.52, and Two Borders a quarterly minimum of 163.10. Certainly our new rate at 80.67 this year and 91.84 are very reasonable considering the new approved rates for other municipalities since we did our rate study in 2018. It is very important for everyone to understand why our utility rates are seeing such a significant increase. If you take a look at Schedule 8, which is on the right, which is the schedule of financial position for utility, we have the 27 and 2018 balances from our audited statement. In yellow, both years hovering around 1.58 million net debt position. Now, if you look at the consolidated statement of financial position on the left, which is very small, our consolidated net debt, again in yellow, in 2017 was at 1.9 million net debt, and in 2018 was at 1.5 million net debt, an improvement of 400,000, a significant improvement. Now, if we did not consolidate our utility in our consolidated statement of financial position, it would appear we would be in a $100,000 surplus position. Certainly, our utility position is the culprit of our current state. As part of our utility financial planning, we plan to pay off the bank indebtedness by end of year 2021 and then reevaluate our position. Certainly, our eventual goal is to reduce and eventually eliminate our due to fund. Certainly, this will certainly be a long road for our utility, but we are making significant progress and will eventually get there. At the beginning of the presentation, I'd mentioned that this is a reassessment year. Reassessment is done every 2 years. As part of the process, the assessment branch sends out a notice to all property owners with their current value and the proposed new value. If for some reason you believe the value is overstated, you can certainly appeal your assessment with an application for revision of assessment. Please visit the government assessment website or call our local service assessment office, or they would be happy to look over your property characteristics with you. Just so you have a visual, the application form is on the right, and it can also be found on our website for easy access. The deadline to appeal the 2021 assessment is October 22nd. Again, we encourage everyone to review your assessment information as it is extremely important. As far as the impact goes for the property class from 2019 to 2020, you can see in our total assessment change was at 203 million in 2019 to a total of 208 million, a 2.7% increase. Now, of the 208 million, 68 million is single residential families. Farm is 106 million, and commercial industrial is 29 million. These three property classes equate to 97.5% of the total assessment. And so to save time, I will only provide you with the tax impact examples for these property classes. So the impact from 2019 to 2020 for a single family residential decreased 1.2%. Commercial industrial is up 12.6%, and farm property is up 2.7%. Now let's take a look at some examples. Before you have 4 examples ranging between $100,000 thousand and 400,000 assessed value. So for example, let's look at the tax impact of a rural residential property assessed at 200,000. Last year in 2019, they paid $1,063.47 in school tax, $1,239.63 in municipal taxes. They received the education property tax credit of $700, so deduct that. And their total 2019 property tax bill was $1,603.10. This year, assuming their assessment remained at $200,000, they would be paying $1,031.13 in school tax, $1,233.55 in municipal taxes, deduct the $700 education, and their total tax bill would be down to $15,064.68, a decrease of roughly $40. Now, let's factor in the average assessment change from the reassessment slide I just showed. And for a single family residential property, the average went down 1.2%. So factoring that in on the average of a $200,000 assessment, their new assessed value would be $197,520, which is the line in green. When we factor in the proposed budget, this property will be paying $1,018.35 in school taxes, $1,218.29 in municipal taxes, deduct the $700 education property tax credit, and their total tax bill in 2020 will be $1,536.64, down a little less than $70 from last year. Now let's take a look at an example, or here you see some examples of urban residential properties. Here again, they range between 100,000 and 400,000. And so for example, let's look at the property assessed at 400,000. Last year in 2019, they paid $2126.82 in school taxes. They paid $4680.17 in municipal taxes. They received the education property tax credit of $700. So deduct that. And their total in 2019 tax bill was $6,106.99. This year, assuming assessment remained the same at $400,000, and they would be paying $2062.26 in school taxes, $4634.06 in municipal taxes, deduct the education property tax credit, and their tax bill will be $5996.32, a decrease of roughly $110. Now let's factor in the average assessment from the reassessment, again down 1.2%. So that 400,000 assessment is now assessed at $395.040 assessed value, which is in green again. Factoring in this with our budget, the proposed budget will be paying, this property, would be paying $2036.70 in school taxes, $4579.92 in municipal taxes, deduct the education property tax credit at $700, and their total tax bill this year is $5916.62, down roughly $190 from last year. Now let's take a look at an urban commercial property. Before you have three examples ranging between 100 and 500,000. So let's look at a commercial property assessed at 100,000. Last year, in 2019, they paid $1403 in school taxes, $1857.36 in municipal taxes, and their total 2018 property tax bill was $3260.39. This year, assuming their assessment remained at 100,000, they would be paying a total tax bill of $3161.69, a decrease of roughly $100. Now, when we factor in the average assessment change for commercial property, it went up 12.6%, fairly significant. So factoring in this increase as the average, That assessed value at 100,000 is now 112,600 and is the line in green. Here, their school taxes would be up to 1485.24, municipal taxes 2042.58, and their total tax bill this year 3527.82, up roughly $265 from last year. Again, we cannot stress enough how important it is for any property owner that if you feel if your property is overassessed, please contact the assessment branch immediately to review your property and have it potentially reassessed. The farm impact. Here, finally, save the best for last, are the farm properties. Here we have examples of properties assessed between 200, 300, and 400,000. Let's take a closer look at a tax impact for a property assessed at 300,000. Last year in 2019, they paid $921.57 in school taxes, $1,073.57 in municipal taxes, and their total 2019 property tax bill was $1995.14. This year, assuming their assessment remained at 300,000, they would be paying a total of $1961.95, a decrease of roughly $34. Now, when we factor in the average assessment change for commercial, remember, up 2.7, farm, up 2.7%, factoring in this increase as the average, the assessment is now $308,100. This assessment value is again already factored into the green line. When we factor in the 2020 budget, this property is paying $917.35 in school taxes, $1,096.88 in municipal taxes, and their total tax bill this year is $2,014.23, up roughly $20 from last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Well done. The next item on the agenda are questions and comments by registered in favor. Did we have any registered in favor?
No, we did not.
And following that, it's questions and comments by registered opposed. Were there any registered?
There was none, no.
Are there any questions from council?
Leo, your presentation said the grant for policing is of $186,000 is for urban?
That's correct, yeah.
It's not rural?
No.
No.
Any other comments from, or questions from council?
It was very well put out there. You did a good job there, Leo. You're certainly heading in the right direction, I think.
Thanks.
Okay, this is the final opportunity for any new comments. Before I close this hearing, I would like to say that we will not be voting on this tonight to give everybody an opportunity to review it. And we will be looking at the first reading at our council meeting on Thursday. So that gives you an opportunity to have a look at it. If you have any questions, like I said before, please contact either the office or any of the councillors. With that, I will adjourn this hearing.